Hey Alpha fam, let's do a quick market update before we begin. I do want to say that nothing in this video is financial advice. Everything is for educational purposes only. This is just my own analysis on the market. Also, if you're new to this channel, if you can please like, comment, and subscribe. We really do appreciate all of the support. So guys, let's get into this market. We just had some interesting data get released. All right. So if I come over here to my Forex factory, unemployment data just got released this morning, guys. Look at that. 4.6, which is way more than they expected. So I'm going to give you guys the sauce for rate cuts. Inflation has to be lowering. They obviously wanted to 2%, but they have decided to be flexible as long as it's lowering closer to their 2% goal and inflation is rising. So you have to have, you have the unemployment is rising and inflation is dropping. That is the recipe for rate cuts. That's how they determine their monetary policy. So anytime the unemployment and the labor market is weakening, they will lean on rate cuts and lowering rates. So that way companies and organizations can borrow money for less and they can then reinvest that to actually, lower the unemployment rate. So this is the sauce for unemployment and for getting rate cuts and inflation and how this all ties in together, guys. So what we're seeing right now is we just had this unemployment data come out. Again, we've been having a bit of a move up. You can see this right here again. Market makers are always going to wick down. They're going to try to liquidate longs. They're going to try to, knock people out. But the main thing is looking at this. This is the NASDAQ. We just got this information came out and the NASDAQ was actually struggling and we actually broke back below the 50, but looks like we're getting a move up. We're also waiting for TradFi markets to open up. We still got about an hour before they open up, guys. We have a little bit of data coming out today. We also have some PMI data today. You can see this is all the different data points that are going to be released. We also have flash manufacturing PMI. We got flash services PMI. We are going to wait for those things to come out. Again, guys, this is something that we needed today. We needed this unemployment data to come out good, because then if you see this, you're going to probably start seeing, this is Polymarket. Look, this thing just went up. You see how it just went up for rate cuts just a second ago? That's what's happening, because with people seeing unemployment's going up, they're going to have to cut rates again. All right. That's just fun fact. With that being said, now what we're doing is we're waiting for the US market to open up. I think we're going to start recovering from what we've been going through the last week, which is essentially, guys, what we've done is this was all the Bank of Japan being priced in. All right. This whole week since last Friday from right here, this is all the Bank of Japan being priced in. All right. I think this event's mostly priced in at this point, and now I think we can start moving back up to the upside, because that's what this market's been doing, guys. It's really hyper reflective. It's pricing in events. It used to be like 48 hours before an event happened. So if we had FOMC on a Wednesday, Monday we would start seeing the de-risking. Now it's like Saturday, Friday we're seeing the de-risking. So this means we de-risk faster, we get over the event, and then when the event happens, it's just like buy the rumor, sell the news. It's like, sell the rumor, buy the news at that point. It's like a complete reversal. So with that being said, guys, this looks pretty good. Again, we are waiting for TradFi markets to open up. We got a good unemployment data. I think we've mostly priced in this Bank of Japan issue, and we can start moving back up. Looking at Bitcoin, you can see we've had a pretty good reaction from the market last night. We kind of made this hammer nail. Then we had another one that came in. Then we did another one right here. Now we're pushing back up. This is looking all right. We're obviously making higher lows. You can see higher low, higher low, higher low. Still higher high, higher high, higher high. And then obviously what we need to do is we need to reclaim the 50 and we need to reclaim some of these levels. So like on the hourly, you can see how we just rejected from it, but I'm guessing we'll probably get some momentum and get back above it soon. You can see on the 30, we just did a bullish retest on it. This looks pretty good. You can see it right here. Again, we just had data come out, guys. So market makers will wick things around. There's a lot of volatility with these data getting released. Then something else that we have to pay attention to too is Bitcoin dominance. All right. So this is Bitcoin dominance doing a bearish retest of the 50. We don't want to see this thing go any higher. Then we have to look at Ethereum versus Bitcoin. It did break below the 50, but I think by the end of the day, this thing should be able to get some momentum against Bitcoin. We just have to be patient. Then you have to also look at the Dixie, still breaking down below the 50. Looks really good, really strong. We are in a confirmed downtrend. You can see where it broke down, and it's just been kind of, trailing down since. And then we have to also look at USDT dominance. This is something that I don't want to see go any higher. All right. It did break out of this kind of flag pattern, but I really want to see this thing reject. It always rejects from this area. You can see it right there. we needed to reject from here and then break down, give us some relief, break down, and start the next, move down. This kind of does look like a double top pattern right here. You know what I mean? Where it kind of made this one up and then came back down and then made another run up. And now this double top pattern gets some relief. Let's roll over. Let's get some relief back into these altcoins inside of this market, guys. This market's been extremely beaten down these last couple of months over multiple events, starting on October 10th. And it's just been a fluctuation. And these events take some time to play themselves out. And we're finally just getting past a lot of this macro uncertainty that we've had come out in the last couple of months. All right, guys. So with that being said, I think things look pretty good. The market is, again, we're still waiting for TradFi markets to open up. We have to wait and see kind of how that fluctuation is going to go. I'm a big believer in what direction the futures market goes for that day is usually a good indication which direction we're going to go. You can see actually how strong we opened up futures last night. If I come back over here, you can see this thing opened to close right here and then opened all the way up here, came back down, did this retest, and now has been moving back up since. And again, guys, we just had this data come out. You're going to get this fluctuation in price levels. You're going to see a lot of wonkiness. That's just what happens when these things get out because there's so much volume coming in and out of the market at that time. So many people take the longs, people closing shorts, people opening shorts, people opening. It's just a lot of volume. So you're going to get these fluctuation in these wicks. We'll find a level and then we should continue to move up. I am feeling a lot more confident about this market today after this unemployment got released. Now seeing that than where I was yesterday because I figured, okay, Bank of Japan is going to do this on the 18th or 19th. There's a chance of perplexity that we could de-risk into that event. But I think what's happened is the market's pretty much priced it in through right here, starting right here of last week, coming all the way down. And now we can start to get it moved back up. All right, guys. With that being said, keep your notifications on. I'm going to keep you guys updated. Also, if you're just trying to understand this stuff, if you want to learn macroeconomics, if you want to learn fundamentals, the projects we're investing in, the narratives, technical analysis, if you want to be able to network with other entrepreneurs, click the link below, guys. We'll see you inside.